Okay, very good morning to all of you. So we have started the paper this fourth industrial botany, and we have started the gardening and the landscaping. Up till now, I have taken the 5 lectures. So here, this lecture number 6 about the water garden. Here you are observing the good photograph of this water garden. So what is the water garden? We are knowing, particularly in the Europe or this in our India also. Nowadays, water gardens are developed very largely. So just we will see the characters of water garden. So water garden is nothing but generally these are the aquatic gardens where the water is the main feature and the different aquatic plants are displayed. This garden generally it is the act as per the pond nature. Generally there are some primarily aquatic plants are there and they are generally maintained as with suitable display is there here. So here you are observing I have selected some photographs of the gardens. So just please see this nature. Second thing, here you are observing the good this water garden also. So here as there is having the major weightage, it is also giving on the floating plants, submerged plants. Then at the corner margin plants are there, edge plants commonly these are called as. Then it is also important to see about water quality and because the in some region it is the natural system or in some region there is a stored water. So we have to maintain the nutrient condition, then oxygen demand in this pond. So clean water is important. Secondly, here you are observing the different types of the ponds, pools are there. Pools, that is specific area is prepared. So generally in Japan certain type of the gardens are there because they are in the small streams or this one, and they have prepared certain type. Or in the British area, generally aquatic plants are sensitive to the depth of the water. Suppose so they can, and they require the sunlight also. Therefore the sunlight reaching plants and getting the sunlight for photosynthesis, it is also important. In the some old references are there, Persian gardens, Chinese gardens, these are famous for the as a water garden. Generally they are the private gardens or the public gardens are there. In China also they are in the private and the public ancient gardens are there. Then the different features for the water garden, generally the landscape is important, right? So in the landscape we are knowing landscape is important. In relation to this, we have to select the industrial areas for the generally water pumps. These are important. Rivers are there. Suppose in our India in rainy season too much rainfall, so flood conditions are there, so disturbance. So at the time of preparation we have to give the all this character. Different springs are there. In historical garden generally the that time they are using these gardens for the fish production. So here the mainly the food for the fish or the ornamental purpose, it is the one part. Here you see these are the good 3 photographs which are the aquatic plants are there and how they are prepared. Then which plants or what plants are in the water garden. So in relation to garden, just we have to consider the aquatic plants, when submerged plants, floating plants are also there, and we have to remember the depth, consider the depth of the plant. So at what depth they should be kept, right? So suppose shallow position or deep, and it is also observed as a vision. So a specific vision should be there, right? So we have to consider this one. So basically in the water gardens in the water gardens we have to consider these parts are there. Here already we have seen. So these gardens they shows the specifically the shallow condition or this one, right? You see, this is the good photograph of the garden, how it is maintained. Footpaths are along this, or greenery lawns are there. The red regions they are commonly developed at the outdoor of the pond. It is called as the generally having the goldfish production areas are there. Then aquatic ecosystems as per the aquatic flora and the fauna it is maintained. Different fountains they are also maintained here. Statues are also there. Artificial waterfalls are also prepared. Then second type in water garden is the backyard. Backyard means the here the size of the garden as per this. Generally it is maintained in the specific area. Generally these are private garden. So we have to also maintain the certain apartments, then containers, then space. ऑल दिस कॅरेक्टर्स आर कन्सिडर. म्हणजे या ठिकाणी मोकळ्या जागेमध्ये अशा गार्डन्स केल्या जातात त्यामध्ये. सो प्लीज रिमेंबर द प्रॉपर नेम बॅकयार्ड वॉटर गार्डन. देन नेक्स्ट वन इज द DIY डी water garden. So one or two people can install a pond and water garden. त्याला म्हणायचं डी water garden. So generally this process starts with a lot of digging, line out the space and dig it into the depth you required. As per our interest. You see this is the DIY water garden. So some area is generally shallow ponds are there. The fishes generally they are to be used. Then plastic cover it is may be used for the water. जसं आपल्याकडे आता शेत तळं करतात बघा, बरोबर ना, किंवा फिश पॉन्ड्स तयार करतात त्या ठिकाणी. सो लाईक दिस वन. सो इट इज कॉल्ड एज अ DIY. Then here the plants are considered for the small water area, and therefore here they check the light level, water level, and therefore it makes the easy for the plant growth is there. So these are the many characters. So floating plants are there. Then secondly the submerged plants are there. Some parasitic plants are also there. So as per requirement it is there. The potassium permanganate it is generally used to kill the other parasites. म्हणजे आपण त्यामध्ये म्हणतो ना, small game fishes are there or others are there or other plants. So potassium permanganate is there. Then there is the use of the some plants, water iris, bog plants, mosses are there, or some rose, pogonia, pitcher plants, other weeds. त्याला सी weeds म्हणतो आपण. जसं आपल्याकडं शेतामध्ये तण असतं त्याला वीड हा शब्द, तसं वॉटरमधल्याला इट इज कॉल्ड द सी वीड्स. आणि त्यामध्ये मग हे पिचर प्लांट, रोज, अदर्स, बॉग प्लांट्स दे आर टू बी यूज. देन हाऊ टू बिल्ड दिस वॉटर गार्डन. आता हेच याच्यावरून तुमच्या कॅरेक्टर लक्षात आले असतील की जनरली हाऊ वॉटर गार्डन शुड बी डेव्हलप. सो हिअर दिस एक्सलंट project we may develop. So as this water garden, the selection of area, containers are there, then construction may be there as per our desire, squarish, then there is having a circular, any type of shape, hexagonal, octagonal, right? Then water pump is important. The features of water generally it should be having with bubblers. आपण बघतो त्या अलीकडे ॲक्वेरियम जे असतं फिशचं, तर त्याच्यामध्ये बबलर असतात, म्हणजे ऑक्सिजन जनरेट करतात. बिकॉज इट रिक्वायर्स फॉर द फ्रेश ऑर द कीपिंग द गुड वॉटर कंडिशन. नंतर वॉटर फीचर्स जनरली pH ऑफ वॉटर इट इज ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टंट, ऑक्सिजन लेवल. Then secondly different types of the fishes to eat the other microorganism. Then in the maintenance of this water garden you just go through it. So skipping out the garden maintenance generally healthiness and balanced ecosystem it is kept. त्या ठिकाणचं वातावरण चांगलं असलं पाहिजे, पाणी, सॉईल कंडिशन, वॉटर कंडिशन्स आर देअर. नंतर सेकंडली it also shows there is having the different types of leaves, grasses, they are also important. Then we have to consider here the different removal of the dead plants or the other unrequired plants. Then use of the fertilizers, because like the agriculture it also requires the certain fertilizer, so therefore it depend on the garden type and the area, so therefore the proper fertilization, proper means what, it also requires the specialized fertilizers for the aquatic plants are there. So as we develop this water garden, so we have to give the weightage, and generally the oxygen is the main, and to maintain condition of water, and secondly there is having the to remove the other harmful gases, so they develop due to the decomposition of old material, so removal of old material is also important. So this is all about the water garden. In the next lecture we will see the last three types: sunken, bottle, and the circular garden. Okay, so thanks to all, have a nice day.